What up, peeps and peepettes? MorbTron back today with more Ark Survival Evolved Pugnacia on the Thieves Island map. And before we get into anything today, I just want to say thank you all so very much for your support on prior episodes. If you like this one, please do not forget to punch that like button in the teeth and subscribe for more daily content. So today what we're doing is more Ark Science, except this time we're going to be focusing on the Primevals of Pugnacia. So you can see here I've got one of each of them, plus a random Kraken over there. So I've got a Fustercluck representing the Dodorexes. I've got Garble representing the Kraken. I've got Munch representing the Indominous Rex. Spooter representing Broodmothers. Brass representing the Megapithicus. Dova 3, third dragon, guys. Third time I've had to tame a dragon. Representing the dragons. Kitten representing Mantacore. And Thunder Chicken representing the Dodowyvern. So you'd be wondering why they are all unclaimed. That is because what we're going to be starting out with is the survivability test and data. So what I did, basically, is I wanted to see, how much effective health, or like how much damage each of these Primevals are going to take, to see if they had any built-in armor, or for instance, with the Indominous Rex, it has a saddle, which you can upgrade, which I have. So, and we're going to be using the test dummy today as well. So you can see here, if I can find... Okay, so test dummy. On test dummy, the Tweety here does 120,000, 687,000, or 600 words. Does 120,687 damage. On the test dummy, Tweety only does 27,878 damage. So I took that into account for all of my data collection, and there will be corrections for the dummy taking less damage from dinos than it should. So we'll be starting off with the Dodorex here. The Dodorex, this one in particular. Now granted, all of these spawn in at max level at whatever your server is set at. Ours is 840. They will have, differing stats, just depending on here or there. But the end result is going to be about the same. It's going to be in the same ballpark for each class of dino. So you can see here, Dodorex does not have any built-in armor. The Kraken does not have any built-in armor. The Broodmother, no built-in armor. Megapithicus, no built-in armor. Same goes for the dragon. The Mantacore. The Dodowyvern. And you'll see here on the Indominous Rex, it takes a lot less damage. And that's because of its saddle. So we're going to hop off Tweety. We're going to claim Munch, take off its saddle, and unclaim it again. And then you'll be seeing here there is no built-in armor for the Indominus. So that's important to note that, this is the Indominus Rex is the only primeval tame on Pugnacia that has a saddle. And that saddle, you can upgrade it to Ascendant if you're using the upgrade station, and you can augment it even farther than that. So what we're going to be getting into next here is more of the damage stuff, and once it is daytime again, I'll get that going, so I will BRBs. Alright guys, we're back, and it's daytime, and let's do this thing. So, what I forgot to mention before is, so every single one of the Primevals has about the same health. They're within a couple thousand, a couple 100,000 of each other. When you have millions of health, it's not really much. So I think they all kind of have the same targeted amount of health. The outlier here is the Indominous Rex that has the saddle. With its saddle currently, with its maximum armor of 325, it only takes about 7.5% of the total amount of damage that the dino can deal to it. So that brings its effective health, and so its base health that it has right now is 11,836,800. With the saddle, with how much damage reduction it has on it, basically its effective health pool is 165,724,812. So it having a saddle that can be upgraded makes this dino like the hardiest of the primevals, and really hardier than even Gigatron. So let's get into the damage side of things here. We'll start with the Kraken. So we'll go over to this other Kraken over here, which is also unclaimed and is fully leveled with only health, so it can take this sort of damage. Left click is just single attack, 1 million. Right click is the same amount of damage twice. C attack is the same amount of damage twice again, but it just takes longer. So I'll give that Kraken some time to heal up, and let's go hit the dummy. So over here, I already have all this calculated out. The Kraken does 7,601 DPS maximum on the target dummy. So that basically equates to, doing all the math, about 868,773 DPS, but the important thing to pull out of that is, even with its most efficient attack, which is right-click with the 2 attacks, it only does 0.8 attacks per second, even including the double attack with its right-click. The bigger thing with the attacks on these is, again, their targeted damage range per bite is all about the same, or per swing, or per whatever you want to call it. Is all about the same. So even on the Dodorex here, is doing, you know, just about 9,000 damage per hit on the dummy, and we'll get to about 12,595 that you saw there. If we bring it over to the Kraken, does about, you know, 1 million, a little bit over. So its DPS is actually 1,439,000 and some change. It does 1.4 attacks per second. So with the damages all being, like the damage ranges all being about the same, close to 1 million or a little bit over. Come on, Dodorex, can you not be stupid? Can you? Okay. Yep, you're gonna be stupid. You're gonna be on the Kraken and stupid. So like even on here, we take Munch, the Indom, and the Indom does a little bit more damage than the Dodorex, but not much. So if we take it over to the Kraken, it's going to do a little over, oh, I don't want to kill the Kraken, a little over 1 million, again, just like the other ones. And now the Indom also does 1.4 attacks per second, so its damage bracket is identical to the Dodorex's. There are other benefits with either, like the Dodorex has a fire breath, the damage from that really isn't that impressive. The Indom can go invisible, which, sure, the Indom can go invisible, but the rider on top of it doesn't. So let's go on to the next one here and get on Spooter. So Spooter only does 0.8 attacks per second, just like the Kraken. So its damage, its DPS, is also going to be severely hindered because of that. Now it does have other things, like it has this trample mechanic. You've seen this doing a tiny bit of damage. It does have a right-click webbing, and it does have a fan AoE in the spit. But they're really hard to hit with. There, I just killed your boa randomly. That's kind of funny. So although it does have those extra attacks, it does have the webbing, it's really not going to affect, you know, in any other way other than just kind of for flair. Now the Megapithicus, this one does do less damage overall. This Megapithecus that I tamed, I believe, is on the lower end of the spectrum for damage. But the Mega does have its benefits as well. As you see, if you saw there, it can jump. So none of the other land Primevals can jump. And also the Megapithecus, with its C attack, where it punches the ground like that with its left fist, will pick up a enemy dino and put it on its back. Now it does do like 400 damage to the dino when it does that, but you can still pick stuff up and haul it around, which is convenient. And now we get into the flyers. We'll take the dragon here. It does, yeah, a fair amount of damage. Again, it's going to be in the same range as everybody else, a little bit over 1,000,000. The dragon does 1.2 attacks per second, so it's pretty powerful. Its flame ability does the percentage-based damage. However, if the flame ability kills an enemy, you will not get credit for the kill. I don't know why. It's just something with Ark. It has nothing to do with the mod itself. That's just the way Ark has it. If a damage over time ability kills a thing, you will not get credit for killing that thing. Now moving on to the Mantacore. The Mantacore has a plethora of attacks. It's got a bite, which is what I calculated the DPS for. It's got a right-click secondary attack, which changes if you're on the ground or in the air, based on the tail, but in the air, the damage is more behind it. Whereas on the ground, it'll swing it out in front. So it also has a C attack, which will shoot spines out. And those spines actually do a considerable amount of damage. This one, for instance, does, let's see here, 140,817 per spine, and there's 15 spines. And you can shoot out the spines every 1.25 seconds. So it's actually a fair bit of damage, however, they're really hard to aim. So again, the Mantacore does 1.2 attacks per second as well, same as the dragon. So the damage there, not going to be much of a difference at all. Really going to just depend on the randomized stats that you get on tame. One thing I did forget to mention about the dragon is it can pick things up like a Quetzal with his C ability. So if you're not running the dino pickup mod like we are in the server, if you want to fly and pick something up and still do a ton of damage, the dragon is your dino of choice. Now, my personal favorite flyer, the Dodowyvern, does the most amount of damage out of any of the Primevals. It has the highest attack per second. It does 1.4 attacks per second. So it's in the same bracket as like the Indominous and the Dodorex, except this guy can fly. And it has all of the Wyvern attacks in one package. So you see left click is a bite, right click is the lightning attack, C is the fire attack, and X is the poison attack. Now the poison attack does do torpor, a very, very small amount, but it's good for getting the attention of things without killing them, which is something the other Primevals have a really, really hard time with. So that's all of the Primevals. So the biggest thing here isn't my specific dino's DPS, because they're all going to vary a little bit based off of randomized stats upon taming. So all of these dinos do have 250 levels pumped into their damage, so it's not like they're pumped differently. Now, as far as which land one is best, if you're looking for just a beast for damage and survivability, the Indominous Rex is the dino for you. Its cloaking ability, although kind of looks cool, doesn't cloak the user or the saddle. So you're just kind of like a saddle running around with you on top of it, and you still get attacked. Now, if you want to be able to jump around and pick stuff up, the Megapithicus is the ground dino for you. Again, if you want to pick stuff up and fly around and do a ton of damage, the dragon is for you. And if you are amazing, like I am, then the Dodowyvern is for you. So to fly, my flyer of choice is the Dodowyvern. That's what I hop on most of the time to go flying around the map. I personally don't really pump the speed on them too much. I think they're fast enough. But I couldn't leave out Gigatron. So I'm not going to go and show off the damage. We know it does 2 million. We know it does way more than any of these primals here. But it is in the 1.2 attacks per second bracket. So if you could breed any of the primals, they would be way better than Gigatron. However, with Giganotosaurus being breedable in Pugnacia and having all of the negative effects of a Giga being gone, like they're reducing stats on Tame, Enraging is the big one, they do not enrage, and again being able to have that saddle that you can increase up to 325 armor using the upgrade and augment stations. It might not have as much health, like it has 6 million health, so its effective health is still higher than any of the Primevals minus the Indominus, but it does way, way more damage. It does 2.5 million DPS, whereas the highest Primeval, I believe, is a Dodowyvern that I have tamed, which is 1.5, so it does a whole million DPS more. So if you're looking for something to just romp around on and have a good time, breed Gigas, you know? And this is only with one breeding as well with these stats, you know, and it's not even perfect tame level as well. So these were 840 in the wild. This one wouldn't have been, it would have been close. It would have been like 820 or 825, but you can get better. You can get better than perfect tame, even with breeding. So, and then you get into mutations. I haven't done that. I don't have time for that. But you can have a beast of a Giga on a Pugnacia server and just completely wreck anything and get away with it. But guys, that is going to be it for the day. So if you like this episode, if you found it informative, I know it's a lot of data that I threw out in not a whole lot of time. But if you liked it, please punch that like button right in the teeth. If you are new to the channel, you want to see more daily content from me, please subscribe. If you have anything to say, do it in the comment section down below. If you have anything you want me to test out next time for Ark Science, or anything you want me to test out a little bit differently, let me know. Do not forget to have a good day, peeps, and I will catch you all next time.